Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today doing what I like to call a little bit of soul cleansing. Over on Retro Rebound, we just reviewed Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections, and my weeb soul needs some cleansing.
Did that wake you up?
I'm going to a hardcore RPG, something that I know will never let me down. We're back talking about Baldur's Gate 3 for the first time in a number of weeks, and we got a ton of news to go through. I also need to do a degree of soul cleansing because I've been playing games on this, and I have thoughts that will probably be tomorrow's video. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Baldur's Gate 3 today because we have a Deluxe Edition to go over, which is a brand new physical copy of the game. It's coming to Xbox. We already knew that, but now we have an idea of maybe when, with an announcement to come at the Game Awards. We're going to get into that, some updates to the game, some technical improvements to the game, and so on and so forth. So it's going to be a video full of news and predictions. So if you're new here, you're into Baldur's Gate 3. We covered a lot here, pretty much any major RPG we're covering here on the channel. Consider subscribing and help me cleanse my soul as I get some of that Naruto off of me. But before we begin, we have a word from today's sponsor. The following video is brought to you by Backbone, which is designed to transform your smartphone into a next-gen gaming device similar to an Xbox. Here you're seeing me use the Backbone One controller, which snaps into your iPhone or Android just like that. Super comfortable, and what I've been using it for lately is actually gameplay capture. You can press that button on the bottom left, take screenshots that'll save to your own photo album, or you can even take videos. So for me, as someone who records a lot of gameplay, this is extremely useful. Backbone also has an app that's your hub for all of your mobile gaming needs, from the Xbox app to the PlayStation app, and you'll see here that I'm playing some games via remote play on my Xbox Series X, so I can get around the house, I can get a couple of things done, then switch over to remote play and continue to enjoy my games. As you can see here, I'm playing some Persona 3 Portable, obviously a game fit for being on the go. I'm preparing my body for Persona 3 Reload, which is coming out next year on Game Pass, and I'm going to be excited to play some of that as well on my Backbone. So ladies and gentlemen, what are you waiting for? Go to playbackbone.com or the link in the description to check out the Backbone One controller, get one for yourself, and start gaming on the go. Shout out to Backbone for sponsoring today's video. All right, let's begin with the Baldur's Gate 3 Deluxe Edition, Retro Rebound and Spirit. I need to show you the physical copies first. So what you get with this are 32 stickers, a Mind Flayer poster, Deluxe Edition box that it comes in, which is really cool. You have an original soundtrack, 3 discs worth, which is great, a world map, 2 patches, and most importantly, on the bottom left corner, a physical copy of the game. And perhaps the most important distinguishment to make here is that it is playable on disc. Now, the PS5 comes with 2 discs, whereas Xbox is 3 discs. Don't ask me why this is the case. I have no idea. Last time I bought a game with 3 discs, I think of like the Mass Effect trilogy, where if you bought that on PS3, it was 3 discs. And I remember on 360, if you bought it, it was a ton of discs. I think Mass Effect 2 was like multiple discs, or Mass Effect 3 at least was. Anyway, off track here. Most important component to me here is that it's playable on disc. And I hate that we have to make that important note, because there's just been a staggering amount of games launching where like half of it's on disc. So you're really just buying a paperweight because you're downloading the rest, and you may as well just go all digital. I like that Larian, even though they're coming out later with something for a physical copy, is doing it all on disc. This is coming out in the first quarter of 2024. You can get your pre-order in now like I did. It's $80 US at least, and I am absolutely all over this thing right here. Now, as you saw in the bottom left corner, Xbox, right? It's coming to Xbox. We already knew for a while it's coming to Xbox, that there was a technical issue on the Series S side of things to make sure that there was content parity with the Series X version. It looks like there's been a workaround there where Larian had promised, yes, Baldur's Gate 3 is going to come out this year. Now, as time is ticking, we're getting to the back end of the year. It's like, okay, when is Larian going to announce this bad boy? Like, when are they going to say it's coming? And with so little time, are they going to market it at all? Well, here we have this tweet from Larian that says, Xbox players, we hear you're looking for more news on Baldur's Gate 3. The game is on track for a December release. We'll see you at the Game Awards for the world premiere of the exact release date. Yeah, seeing that makes me think that we're in for a shadow drop. I don't know why you'd wait until the first week of December to announce it if it's going to be coming in a week or so. I guess that's not impossible, but I feel like a shadow drop is a big part of this. Now, Xbox fans, understandably so, have now been speculating, does this mean it's going to be in Game Pass? I am 50-50 on this, because it was where my head went. Like, imagine just saying like, hey, this is the game of the year, possibly the game of the year award winner, and that same day you can play it on Game Pass. Like, I feel like Xbox could have the foresight here to invest and pay up big time. You look at the prices they had for Baldur's Gate 3 before the game had come out versus what it is probably now with all of its popularity. And I imagine Larian, rightfully so, has jacked up the price as this is a highly desired game. So I do think there's always the chance that we get Baldur's Gate 3 in Game Pass, but I think the bigger guarantee is a shadow drop that day. Like, hey, Baldur's Gate 3 is out now on Xbox. The question I had in my head, though, is why a trailer at the Game Awards? That maybe you get additional advertising, but I feel like the viral marketing this game got with how well it's doing, and you look at its player count on Steam, it's absolutely incredible, right? Like, this game has done, like I said in an older video, the impossible. It's punched above every conceivable metric, smashed through every player count target Larian could ever have expected. Like, this game is a smash hit, and it was never destined to be that, as great as Larian has always been, as I've documented here on this channel. So I don't think you pay for a trailer slot on a big showcase to just say, hey, it's coming to Xbox, right? Especially if there's the rumor right now that Xbox should be having a developer direct at the top of the year. Like, maybe you slide it in there in Xbox's own show. But if you're an Xbox fan, the good news is you know you're coming home with something. Anyway, I say all of this to start lining up the next segment of the video, where Baldur's Gate 3 has been seeing a tremendous amount of updates. And I know this is going to sound like a weird connect. I don't mean to bring Starfield to everything, but if you're wondering where some of the displeasure of Starfield stems from beyond the core product, I think it's the pace at which updates have been rolled out, which has been exceedingly slow. Their updates are coming out slower, where Larian is already on their 10th hotfix for the game, and one of the promises they've made is adding new character endings to the game. Now, Karlach already got a brand new ending for her respective story in the final act. I can't say much at all. I'm still reviewing it, by the way, if anyone's looking for my final verdict video. I would say genuinely expect it in December, probably when I'm on like my holiday break. I'll schedule it for then, because this game's just so dense. There's so much happening in it. I'm really taking my time with it. It's an absolutely special product, so I really don't need to rush this one out, especially at this point. It's like we're already super late, so we'll deliver the final verdict in like December or something like that, so you can look forward to it. But there are respective character endings, and they're adding new ones into that, and so there have been others promised, but Karlach is already out. So my thought is, with the updates coming out for Baldur's Gate 3, that alongside the shadow drop, like, what would be a pretty good sales pitch if you're in this trailer slot is saying, like, new endings, new weapons, new this, new that. Some people are wondering if they're going to announce like an expansion or anything like that. Sven Vink, who's the head of Larian, talked a bit about their next game, just saying he's very excited about what's next. At one point, he said they definitely want to circle back to Divinity. There's the speculation among the community that Larian goes and does a sci-fi game. Yo, I'll just throw this out here. And I imagine they'll do their own original universe. But if Larian ever made a Star Wars game, if there is one game that could ever eclipse Knights of the Old Republic in my eyes, it would be a Larian-developed Star Wars RPG. So with that rumor circling around, I was like, yo, do not tempt me with that, man. Like, I will forget about KOTOR Remake even like that, man, which we already got disappointing news on that. Anyway, back on track. Yeah, Larian has a lot cooking right now. I don't think they're going to announce a big expansion here. They're still focusing on getting the game out on Xbox. They're still patching out the game. It was a little buggy at launch, in fairness, but it did so much right that I think it was acceptable. Some of the bugs that were there and how broad the game was, it was totally acceptable, and it wasn't anything disastrous in my opinion. But when you look at that sort of slate of updates coming and what's still yet to arrive, I think the Game Awards is the perfect time to deliver that. But also, I think all fans are going to win. This isn't just about Xbox fans. Naturally, PlayStation, PC players will get all these updates. But also, one thing that Sven Vink shared on his personal Twitter account, he said, got a nice present from our engineers. Ensuring memory is well under control and having buffer for peaks was the main thing holding us back. I think this will benefit all platforms too. Still some work left, but very close now. Now, this was before the announcement that Baldur's Gate 3 would be coming to Xbox sometime in December. Now, I think this was in reference to the Series S version, which has found a little bit more headroom and improved the performance for all platforms. And this is where I say, we all win. Everyone needs to start coming together. We're all winning here because the Series S, the little man, is starting to punch above his weight class. And This goes back to something we've talked extensively about on the channel, and especially in Defining Duke, where it's like the hot button topic is the Series S holding the industry back? And the answer is always no. It's time, resources, and I hate to say it, but it's developer talent. Not that Larian was not talented by not getting the game out on Xbox, but content parity was a demand from Xbox. What you have on Series X is what you need on Series S. What that meant, for example, as we've talked about before with split screen co-op for Baldur's Gate 3, is that would work on Series X, but it wasn't working on Series S because of the memory limit there, and so they had to figure something out and delay the Xbox version entirely. Now, Xbox clearly saw the popularity, and they should be more ears to the ground on it and been like, we shouldn't miss Baldur's Gate 3 in general. I know 2020 hindsight, but if you ask me, like, Larian doesn't miss. Like, you can't miss their games, like, especially even with Starfield coming out. Like, I just feel missing that was a huge, huge oversight. But point being is now we see what happens when developers have the time, the talent, the budget, and everyone benefits now. So performance should improve over on PC. Performance should improve over on PlayStation. One thing I want to point out is actually that as someone playing on my PC, I'm slapping it like you can see it, I had the strangest problem with Baldur's Gate 3, which actually made me put it down to finish a couple other reviews, and that was my computer was getting extremely hot to the touch. Extreme, like, touch it and you might burn type hot. And I was like, I don't feel comfortable playing this game right now. And at first I was worried, like, is something wrong with the cooling system of my computer? I tested a ton of other games, no real issues. Then playing it now again here in November, I've not had that problem. So they've done a good job optimizing, and this is only going to make things better for everybody. So I just want to put that personal anecdote in the mix here as we round out this Baldur's Gate 3 video. It's been a great time playing this game. It's so good. We'll talk about it more when my final verdict video is up. But ladies and gentlemen, that's everything happening right now for Baldur's Gate 3. It's been a tremendous year for Larian. I'm so stoked for all the success that they have found here. And I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts. If you're an Xbox fan, will you be picking up Baldur's Gate 3 this year? I mean, talk about a great Christmas present. Will you be playing it even if it's not on Game Pass? Will you be expecting the new endings to drop? What other updates will be attached to this? Let me know down below. Other than that, take excellent care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the heck out of the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.